And I like the change they made, Ben, in recent years in the Big East to play this last regular season game on Friday night, so all the teams get an extra day to prepare for the Big East tournament. It's been a big success.
It'll be right back here at Villanova Stadium. The question is, what will the bracket look like? Both of these teams know that they're going to be in it in one form or another. Hoyas win the first face-off and start out with possession there in the black and gray jerseys. They're moving from left to right across your screen.
But they're still good on offense, Ben. They still have a lot of capable players, especially with Graham Bundy moving to attack this year, a little bit different.
We'll see him at both attack and midfield, depending on the personnel that the Hoyas roll out as they continue to get going. Skip pass over towards the left side. Aiden Carroll, talked about him before the game, gets a good look, and Anthony Wilson makes his first real save of the afternoon.
And important for Villanova to get the ground ball. Otherwise, maybe if Georgetown gets the offensive rebound, it would be a reset of the shot clock. So that's important for Anthony Wilson to establish himself. He's been over 50% love. And Georgetown usually just plays on an island. They don't slide a whole lot, but they did graduate Will Bowen and Donaldson, and they have a new goalie. But I like Anderson Moore, the new goalie. He's super athletic.
And a huge recruit, and he lets the first one in. Villanova strikes first, 2.5 minutes into it. And it is Licata who gets Villanova on the board. Point number 50 gets the Cats the early lead.
So Anderson Moore is super athletic, and he stays deep in the cage, but he'll float out a little bit. They had Licata maybe a little bit hung up, but remember, Georgetown plays the same way every year, and they don't slide a lot. So you'll get your one-on-one matchups if you're Licata. And Villanova's trotting out freshmen, of course, without Justin Coppola, who's Villanova's all-time leader in face-off wins, who misses another game.
Ball 60% at Face-Off X this year. Went 9 for 13 last game. A huge 20-6 win over St. John's. And again, the Hoyas are set up for another look at Anthony Wilson, team that leads the conference in goals per game, shot percentage. Fewest penalty minutes per game as well. The Hoyas lead the way. That could be a factor as well. Special teams have not been kind to the Wildcats so far this year. 23 seconds on the shot clock, right out in front, and it's one apiece.
So TJ Haley's known as a feeder. You saw that they had him hung up that time, the defender, and that's because sometimes people don't fear TJ Haley as a scorer. Now, he's scoring more this year, but he's their all-time assist leader. Georgetown always has a lot of risk takers, Ben.
3-time All-American, according to US Lax. And he's allowed the only shot that he has faced so far as the Cats work it all the way around back up top to Dan Martin, junior from Wall Township, New Jersey. 14 goals already this year, and then he loses it, taken right back away by the Hoyas, and here comes Georgetown in transition the other way. Cats got some numbers back. Schubert couldn't field it cleanly. Ground ball initially scooped up by the Hoyas, and they're not going to be able to keep it in between them.
And just to make sure to keep Georgetown honest more than anything.
Here's another one of those Ivy League transfers we were talking about for the Hoyas. Alexander Vardaro, transfer from Princeton. Finds a cutting Bundy who steps into it and scores.
And they ran him out of the box. So very, very creative that time by Kevin Warren and John Hogan, the second-year offensive coordinator, as Bundy's played attack this year, and they like to keep him on the field. Why not? But that was a nice, classic, creative play. Villanova used to run that.
On his attacker, Lucas Newton. Redshirt freshman gets the ball back out of his stick into Lucchesi.
So there's Nick Lucchesi, who's, if you give him one-on-one space, he can kill you.
Oh, good opportunity that time for Michener to go behind the back. Never really got the angle right, though, and it'll go back to the Hoyas.
And he might have been in the crease, and he tried to go BTB, and it just didn't work that time.
Well, that was his only angle, and he got the angle all wrong. Seamus Foley was right there to put the pressure on him as well.
Georgetown scored 2 pole goals last weekend against St. John's, and Villanova's 10-man ride has Anthony Wilson out of the cage, and Villanova has been awesome in this department this year.
Extra feed, down low, score! Michener puts it away off of the turnover, and it's even up at 2 apiece.
People ask, why are you giving up 10-man ride goals? Well, it's worth the payoff. That's why Villanova's played this style in recent years, because teams nationally are pathetic clearing against Villanova's ride. They're actually one of the best teams in the country in these stats and analytics, and when you give them a fast break, Villanova always has talent, and they need to score like that, Ben, if they're not winning faceoffs.
Villanova's opponent pause turnover number for Villanova. It's a huge gulf between them and the rest of the Big East and how opportunistic their defenses have been. Cats with 10.9 caused turnovers per game. As you said, that's number 4 in all of Division I. Next best is Denver. 8.1 caused turnovers, nearly 3 fewer, 35th in the nation.
And you see Zubasic, number 9, leads the country in caused turnovers, really throwing a pickle at Jack Schubert.
39 of them so far this year. He's had a tremendous campaign as Haley running around looking for options. Under 20 left on the shot clock, and the Cats take it away again. It's still loose on the ground.
Masterful defense by Chris Miller. In your face, pressing out, taking your chances. Look how physical Villanova's being, and Reed Caldwell is back. He's missed the last couple of games with an injury.
Hoyas with the shot clock all the way down, still get the shot away and score. TJ Haley from an impossible angle falling down, and the Hoyas grab the lead right back 3-2.
He scored 1 goal last year, and you don't need him to score a lot when you have Tucker Dordovic and Graham Bundy with all the step down ability. But I think they need him to score more this year because they're not as deep, and he's stronger. Kevin Warren said he showed up as a different player in the fall. He hit the weight room as Georgetown picks it off here.
And it's a turnover. Wallace Halpert again. He's been in the center of all of it on the defensive end. Senior out of Baltimore, Maryland, who has been huge for the Hoyas.
Third most caused turnovers in program history.
63 coming into play today. He's only going to add to that total. Low to high. That time goes Jack Leary. Wasn't far off.
Well, he wanted to score in his hometown, right?
Villanova kid. Scored against Providence earlier on this season.
There's Jack out of the Haverford School. Almost.
Trying to pick out that top corner.
Different. Is Villanova a little nervy? Were they too pumped up, too fired up? Let's see if they can settle down on offense.
Back it goes for TJ Haley.
And they moved him around a lot this year, not just sitting at X.
Here's now Bundy looking for any sort of window. Not going to find it. Long towards the right side it goes instead. Vardaro. Transfer from Princeton with second-team All-American, first-team All-Ivy there.
Boy, they've hit on transfers big time in recent years with Will Bowen and Dordovic and now Vardaro.
20 seconds and ticking left on the shot clock. And Haley's forced to toss it over to the other side. Into the final 35 seconds of the opening quarter. Cats trying to keep this deficit right at 1. Bundy steps down and scores. Too much time and space for Graham Bundy.
Something they talked about with Anthony Wilson in the preseason. When you get to play at Georgetown, you have to read the scouting report of Graham Bundy because he'll shoot high, he'll shoot low, he'll shoot all over. You have to be ready. You have to read the shooter. And Anthony Wilson knows he probably could have had that one, but then again, Bundy can that shot any day of the years. And ditto with Georgetown's goalies. And the faceoffs between Coppola and Riley were pretty even. So we've seen some tight games, but now it's different with new faceoff guys in the mix.
Kopecky 8 for 21 coming into play today at the X as Zupicic found his way to that one.
On the road since 2016, Ben. This team wins on the road under Coach Corrado. No other team can really match that.
6-2 in their travels here in 2024. And mentioned it in that pregame interview that you had with him. You go 0-2 in the league here at home to open up the season. You got 2 road games just to give yourself a shot coming into play today. They go on the road to St. John's, they win. They go to Marquette, they win. And now they're in the Big East tournament, but in the back of the net that time, Patrick Krogan with his 15th of the season and last year's Big East Freshman of the Year extends the Hoyas' lead to the largest of the day.
Krogan's playing a little bit more midfield this year. At times he was kind of an attackman last year, and they're trying bounce shots here on the turf at Villanova Stadium against Anthony.
Offense. As you said, they've both taken a slight step back here in 2024, but an opportunity for the Hoyas to extend their lead again. It's the largest it's been all day. And for the Hoyas, a chance to win and cement that 2 seed, be right back here at Villanova Stadium for the Big East tournament as that 2 seed.
They're trying to get the call right because we even haven't gotten it in the stats yet. And they're trying to get that clear, get the clock ready. I think that's why there's the delay in terms of the actual time allotment for Kopecky.
They're going to get him for a slash, 1 minute extra man opportunity for Georgetown. As they work 6-on-5, skip pass out in front, score. Vardaro, and it's 6-2 Hoyas.
That's Vardaro's 100th career goal, and it happened so fast as Georgetown can feed so well. Look at Haley, another dime. It's a simple, easy pet. They counted it while he was a freshman and sophomore.
42nd all-time meeting between these two programs. There have been so many great players on the field when the Hoyas and Wildcats get going again, and the 42nd edition has a lot on the line for the final game of the regular season.
It's a tripping 1 minute. They call that on Caldwell.
Georgetown with the slight edge in the all-time series, 21-20. It's as fine as it could be. Hoyas have won each of the last 9. Mike Corrado talked about it before the game with Nick. that the Hoyas have had their number as of late and having their number again. Aiden Carroll with his first tally of the evening right in the slot, and the Hoyas running away 7-2.
Yeah, played at BC High with Will Bowen up in New England. Boston kid, super shooter. Most improved player in the Big East, perhaps. He was a backup for years on the scout team, as we said in the Open. And Kevin Warren
has just been phenomenal for the Wildcats this year.
Can the offense get going, Ben? That's the question for Nova.
Dan Martin trying to do just that. Licata, who scored first for Villanova, got bumped off of where he was going by Hess. Still plenty of time left on the shot clock, 43 seconds and counting. We near the midway point of quarter number 2. Licata gets topside.
They tried to throw a pick because Ty Banks, their best defender, the freshman, is on Licata right now.
Bose sends it back behind the caged X. Luke Raymond looking for any sort of options, down to 25. Skip pass along towards the left, shot, score. Licata again. And Villanova really needed that one to get back into the contest.
So credit to Simon Connor. You have Luke Raymond, an off-ball guy. He was initiating at X, and they moved Licata to the wing. They kept setting picks to move guys all over in this motion offense, so that frees up Licata on the wing to try and get a different matchup. And Georgetown will try to keep those matchups.
A piece of more.
Yeah, into the spin cycle for Licata, right? He can dip and dive all over the place.
Again, one more look at the shot from Licata. That might have gotten more, as an opportunity now for Bose to step into it, but instead he'll let it go.
He took Banks off the dribble that time, Licata.
Pass over towards Dan Martin, ate him up, was able to keep it alive initially, and Bose fighting after it, as is Martin. Hit is put on, and a whistle is going to keep things with Villanova. Martin got the brunt of that hit.
Yeah.
That's going to stay with the Cats.
We get a push on Georgetown with possession, so it'll stay with Villanova. Really physical play by both teams. I like what I'm seeing so far, and it hasn't been dirty. I think we've just seen good physical lacrosse tonight, frankly.
That was Joe Varanazan who lowered the shoulder. And now Licata directing traffic on Banks. Banks with a big-time bump on him. And it goes back the other way. Boy, oh boy, that is the freshman Ty Banks holding his ground. This is the time of year for it. You get the computer up on one, you get the iPad up on the other, checking scores. It's a fun time of year to be a lacrosse fan, as not missing by much was Aiden Carroll.
No, Aiden Carroll has brought major heat tonight, and he's having a heck of a season. As 12 and blue, definitely an all Big East performer.
Speaking of other scores, Providence 5, St. John's 3. And the other game that matters right now for the Cats.
St. John's is way better. Justin Turry is doing a great job.
TJ Haley back behind the cage. Good feed out in front. Score. That was all set up by the all-time Georgetown assist leader, TJ Haley. And the Hoyas get the lead right back, the goal right back to extend their 5-goal lead.
It's nothing fancy for Haley. It's just in the perfect spot at the right time, and the big-time shooters for Georgetown always know how to finish. Again, very reliable. All of Georgetown's guys, when they shoot the ball, they rip, they take their chance. Want them to dodge, frankly, rather than get all these step downs with Haley feeding Bundy and company to the point.
Cade Goldberg got one of the first goals of the day for Georgetown. He's back into the contest. Finds Haley, who looks out in front. That's a score again off another phenomenal feed from TJ Haley right out in front. And Georgetown does have their largest lead of the day. Haley to Bundy Jr. is the combination, or rather, who was that out in front? Georgetown won't care. It's their largest lead of the day. It's Llewellyn, not Bundy, 8, not 9, but it is 9 goals now for Georgetown in the first half.
Look at the quick stick, and then the boom after by Villanova. So the ability for Georgetown's guys to finish.
The face-off X, it's Ryan Cunningham who's going to start things off against Ball in the second half. And we're underway with half number 2, Villanova and Georgetown, to close out 2024's regular season. And it's the Hoyas who initially are able to scoop it up. It is still a battle for it. Villanova going to have to win some more of these 50-50 balls in the second half as well to steal those extra possessions. Well, Godine initially came away with it. It's still loose on the ground, as both teams fighting for the opening possession of 2024, and Ahoya got it and just flung it back to Anderson.
I actually like how Villanova's played defense tonight, but Georgetown's just been really awesome on offense. On this end of the field, Villanova needs to do better on offense. That's been the story all year with a young group.
Looking to do just that against Anderson Moore, who only had 2 saves in the first 5 shots on goal. That one wound up in his crease, and he was able to just kind of soften the blow of it and stop it before it went into the back of his net.
That's Michener on a shot. He tried the low angle, but Anderson.
And on this 2024 regular season, Luke Raymond has been running the show at X-back behind the cage. Gets topside, loses his footing, got the shot away. Moore saw it all the way. Was able to corral it.
So the decision making, if you dodge there, you need to dodge a little bit harder and be a little bit more decisive. And Dan Martin was kind of caught in no man's land there.
More pressure put on by this Villanova ride. And Moore's going to try his luck at it and did not miss by much on that 10-man ride.
Step downs more. That's what Georgetown's done for years.
And now Haley with a chance to step down instead. A skip pass over towards the other wing for a step down shot. That time Wilson was able to snag it. And now looks to move Villanova in transition the other way. Sam Parkinson with the successful clear. Villanova 11 for 13 in the clearing department so far today, behind the back shot, or turnaround shot at the very least.
Sam Hartman to which Commanders receiver, Ben? You would know better than me.
Terry McLaurin still there.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Anderson Moore out of Birmingham, Alabama, knows a thing or two about college football, you'd imagine.
Well, Kevin Warren's a big Alabama fan, so he got to talking with Warren about Nick Saban and company in the recruiting battles.
Good save that time by Anthony Wilson. And then the pass was just errant, but able to scoop it up instead was Kopecky. Get one more look at the save from Wilson. That's number 6 on the day for him.
Yeah, Charlie McGurran helped create the turnover for Georgetown, but Villanova got it back.
Martin with the feed that was unable to find its intended target. That was Licata, and Moore was able to scoop it up.
The rope unit for Georgetown has been it. They did give him a save.
That'll be number 7 of the night for him. Carroll for Haley. Past goal line extended. It goes all the way back around the cage of Wilson. Vardar was able to scoop it up, though. With 7 saves on 9 shots, or 9 goals allowed, rather, for Wilson. .438 save percentage. But the offensive end on the other side just hasn't been there. And Carroll with a chance to step down and a score. Or rather, that's Vardaro. And he paid the price for it at the end.
Yeah, flag. So Villanova will go man down, plus the goal for Georgetown. Vardaro with his second goal. They've been trying these step downs all night. They usually hit them in the Kevin Warren era. And Villanova's done better defending it in the second half. But you give Georgetown a small window, Ben, and they can hit them. Not a surprise.
And then his number 19 counterpart, Jack Shoemaker, lowered his shoulder. And the officials get to come together and have a chat about what to do here for Villanova.
I actually don't mind that call, per se, the way they called it. I don't think it was a bad hit by any means. Just a late one.
Important face-off given the numerical advantage for Georgetown, and it's won by the Cats.
Yep. Kopecky found Zubasic.
And now Kopecky off to the races. Gets the pass away. Zubasic unable to handle it. Fight is on for the ground ball. It's scooped up initially by Licata, tiptoeing that sideline. Just had to fling it into some open space and won 11-8 over Marquette at home on the Hilltop at Cooper Field. Licata turning around shot. Saved by Moore again. That's now the 5th save of the day for Moore. Save percentage back over 500. 9 of his 12 games he's had a save percentage of 500 or higher. Looking to add to it here in the final seconds of the third quarter with .4 left on the clock. And it's Bundy who gets himself his hat trick on the doorstep.
So they try to fast break to try and beat the...
Bring down heading into postseason play.
But Villanova's done better on the face-off. Anthony Wilson's played better in the second half, but it might be tough for some people to tell because Georgetown's...
Lacrosse and Sunshine State in general
No,
has grown leaps and bounds.
I need the geography lesson. I do my homework, but that's what I rely on you for, obviously.
I'll fact-check myself. There's Ponte Vedra and Ponte Vedra Beach. Those are 2 different places.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're here then.
It is... No, I had the right one. It's up near Jacksonville. And here's Vardaro out of Woodmere, New York, who gives it over for Bundy, who scores.
And he shot that from St. Louis. Show me something, right?
Yet another for Bundy. That's number 4 of the afternoon. And Villanova unable to stop Graham Bundy, the graduate student, who puts it past Wilson yet again.
And nobody can stop that. He's the best shooter I've seen maybe in college lacrosse history, in at least the Big East era, I would say. He's been that good.
In 2024. By the way, Providence leads St. John's 12-9. St. John's really needed a Villanova win. They can qualify with this Georgetown win, as turnover is going to give it back to the Cats. But assuming that Villanova doesn't pull off what would be the comeback of all comebacks, for St. John's to qualify with a Georgetown win, then not only would they need to beat Providence, but they would need to beat them by 4 or more goals due to the tiebreakers. Then down by 3 right now in the fourth quarter, or down by 4 in the fourth quarter rather. That feels less and less likely. So it looks like it is going to be Providence, and it is going to be Villanova, and it is going to be Georgetown and Denver.
Georgetown riding hard, and Villanova just did not get it over in time.
Back games by double figures. For Villanova, they have not lost too many games by this kind of margin all season long. I have to go back to the opening game against Penn State, 18-10, when they lost by 8. When they have lost their 5 games, they've kept it pretty close. 3-goal losses in conference play to Providence and Denver. Lost by 3 to Penn, lost by 2 to Yale. Nittany Lions really got their number in the opener up in State College. 6.5 minutes to play. Behind the back, that one caught a piece of the post too.
I think Wilson might have gotten a piece of it there.
Well, let's see if Wilson did get a piece. Don't think.
Anderson Moore is a super quick, athletic goalie that can make that save routinely.
Into the final 90 seconds of this one, and the Hoy is looking to see it out. One more for Villanova, though. It is Wheeler who got the start and gets his second goal of 2024. That breaks the long scoring drought for the Cats.
First goal of the second half for Villanova. He'll get a short stick a lot when he comes on, but Wheeler reads the scouting report really well, according to the coaches, and a lot of the seniors have helped came back to play tonight, so that's encouraging for Nova.
Senior from Westfield, New Jersey, missed last game against Marquette. Villanova's defense certainly better when number 17 is in it.
And Mac Probylski had a big play last week with a takeaway, getting some time out there as a shorty.
But 3 seconds left, ticking down on the timer. 2 seconds and 1, and Georgetown going to come to Villanova Stadium and pick up their